Hey there, have you ever stopped to wonder what really makes life worth living? Is it the size of your bank account, the title on your business card, or something deeper that slips through the cracks when we're too busy chasing the next big thing? Today, I want to take you on a journey through an incredible book that flipped my entire view of wealth upside down. It's not just about money. It's about designing a life that's rich in time, relationships, purpose, health, and yes, financial security too. By the time we're done, you might just find yourself rethinking what it means to be truly wealthy. Let's kick things off with a story that hits like a freight train. Picture this. It's a warm evening in California, May 2021. The author, Sahil Bloom, is grabbing drinks with an old friend. They're catching up, trading the usual how's it going small talk when his friend drops a bomb. You're going to see your parents 15 more times before they die, he says, casual as if he's commenting on the weather. Sahil freezes. His parents are in their mid-60s, he lives across the country, and he only visits once a year. Do the math, 15 years left if they make it to 80, 15 visits. That's it. The number slams into him, a cold, hard wake-up call that he's been missing the point of life entirely. That moment sparked everything. Sahil had all the trappings of success: big job, big paycheck, nice house, flashy car, but he was miserable. He'd bought into the lie we're all sold: stack up enough cash and happiness follows. But sitting there, nursing his drink after his friend left, he realized he'd been playing the wrong game. He wasn't alone either. Studies back this up. Researchers asked millionaires how much more money they'd need to be perfectly happy, and almost every single one said 2 to 3 times as much, no matter how many millions they already had. It's a treadmill that never stops. More money, more wants, and the finish line just keeps moving. But here's where it gets wild. Sahil turned to a group of 80 and 90-year-olds, people with over 1,000 years of life under their belts, and asked what advice they'd give their younger selves. Not one of them said, make more money. Instead, they talked about relationships, building ones that last. They mentioned having fun, staying healthy, raising kids who thrive. One 92-year-old who just lost his wife of 70 years said, "Tell your partner you love them every night before falling asleep. Someday you'll find the other side of the bed empty and wish you could." That's the kind of wisdom that stops you in your tracks. This got Sahil thinking, what if we've been using the wrong scoreboard? What if measuring wealth just by dollars is setting us up to lose the stuff that actually matters? That's where this book comes in, introducing a new way to look at life through 5 types of wealth: time wealth, social wealth, mental wealth, physical wealth, and financial wealth. It's a framework that promises if you get these right, you won't just survive, you'll thrive. Let's dive in and see what it's all about. First up, time wealth. This is about owning your time, not letting it slip away on things that don't matter. Imagine you're in your 30s. Sounds young, right? But if your parents live to 80, you've got maybe 300 to 400 weekends left with them. That number shrinks fast. Sahil calls young people time billionaires because a 20-year-old has over 1 billion seconds left if they hit 80. 1 billion. Yet how often do we squander those seconds on endless scrolling or saying yes to stuff we don't even care about? Sahil digs into how we've tracked time forever, sundials in ancient Egypt, atomic clocks today, but what really grabs you is how time feels. It flies when you're laughing with friends, drags when you're stuck in a meeting. He argues we can shape that feeling by focusing on 3 big ideas: awareness, attention, and control. Awareness is knowing time's finite. Think about it. Really let it sink in. Attention is zeroing in on what's worth it, cutting out the noise. Control is saying no to the junk and yes to what lights you up. He shares a story about a guy named Dave Prout who lost his twin boys in a heartbreaking accident. Dave told Sahil he'd give anything for one more day with them, one more walk, one more hug. It's a gut punch that makes you realize how precious time is with the people we love. Sahil's fix: tools like the energy calendar. Instead of jamming your day with tasks, schedule based on when you're at your best: morning for deep thinking, afternoon for lighter stuff. I tried it myself recently, saving creative work for when I'm sharp, and it's like unlocking extra hours out of nowhere. Then there's the art of no. Ever feel guilty turning down a favor or a project? Sahil says no is your superpower. He lays out a test. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. I used this when a side gig popped up, sounded cool, but it'd eat my weekends. I said no, and guess what? The world didn't end. I had time for a hike with my dog instead. Simple, but life-changing. Next, social wealth: your relationships, the people who'd show up for you no matter what. Sahil asks, who'll be in the front row at your funeral? It's a heavy question, but it cuts through the fluff. He points out we're wired for connection. Our ancestors survived by sticking together, and our brains still crave it. Yet today, loneliness is spiking. Studies say it's as bad for you as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Crazy, right? Sahil breaks social wealth into depth, breadth, and earned status. Depth is your inner circle, those 3 a.m. call people. Breadth is your wider network, the folks you grab coffee with or lean on for advice. Earned status is respect you gain through actions, not flashing a Rolex. He tells a story about Eric and Aubrey Newton, a couple who moved cross-country for her dream job, only to find their old friends fading away. It stung, but it taught them to invest in new, deep ties wherever they landed. One trick Sahil loves is the life dinner. Invite a handful of people, pick a big topic like what's your purpose, and watch the magic happen. I hosted one last month, and we ended up talking till midnight about dreams we'd shelved. It wasn't just fun, it bonded us in a way small talk never could. He also pushes, helped, heard, or hugged. Every chat should leave someone feeling one of those. Next time you're with a friend, try asking, what's on your mind? And really listen. It's small, but it builds something real. Mental wealth is where things get deep: your inner world, your purpose, your growth. Sahil asks, what would your 10-year-old self say to you today? Mine would probably yell, why'd you stop drawing? It's about keeping that kid-like curiosity alive. He traces this back through history. Greek philosophers wrestling with life's big questions, Buddhist monks finding peace in stillness. The pillars here are curiosity, purpose, and growth. Take curiosity. Studies show older folks who stay curious dodge cognitive decline better. Purpose. A study found people over 50 with a strong why live longer. Sahil met a 90-year-old woman who started painting after her husband died. Her joy in creating wasn't just a hobby, it was her lifeline. He suggests the power walk, stroll while chewing on a problem. I did this pondering a career move, and halfway through, the answer clicked like a puzzle piece. Then there's pursuit mapping. List what you do, mark what energizes or drains you, and whether you're good at it. I found I was slogging through tasks I hated and sucked at, ditched them, and my days got lighter. Purpose ties to ikigai, a Japanese idea of blending what you love, what you're good at, what pays, and what the world needs. Imagine finding that sweet spot, say, teaching kids science because you love it, rock it, and it matters. That's mental wealth in action. Physical wealth is your body, simple but so easy to neglect. Sahil asks, will you be dancing at your 80th birthday? It's not about six-pack abs, it's about vitality. He traces how we went from hunter-gatherers on the move to couch potatoes, and the toll's brutal: obesity, heart disease, you name it. The pillars are movement, nutrition, and recovery. Movement isn't just gym time. Think walking, stretching. A guy named Brian Johnson, a tech millionaire, spends millions biohacking his health, but Sahil says you don't need that. Start with 10 minutes of yoga daily. I did, and my back stopped whining. Nutrition's about real food, skip the processed junk. Sahil's common sense diet is meat, veggies, fruits, nuts. I swapped chips for almonds and my energy's steadier. Recovery's the sleeper hit, literally. Sleep 7 hours and your whole day shifts. Sahil's 9 sleep rules include no caffeine late. Tried it and I'm out like a light now. He shares a 30-day challenge, move 10 minutes, drink water, sleep well. I gave it a go and by week 2 I felt like a new person. Small steps, big wins. Finally, financial wealth. Money matters, but it's not the whole game. Sahil asks, what's your enough? A barber he met said, I pay my bills, take my girls on 2 trips a year, I'm rich. Love that. The pillars are income, expenses, and investments. Grow your skills to boost income, writing, sales, coding. Manage expenses, cut the fat, not the joy. Invest the rest, index funds, real estate, whatever compounds over time. Sahil warns about lifestyle creep. Earn more, spend more, stay broke. He met a guy who sold his company for $100 million, rented a yacht to celebrate, then saw a bigger one docked nearby and felt small. There's always a bigger boat. Instead, define your enough life. Mine's a cozy house, travel, time with family. Automate savings, invest in yourself, and money becomes a tool, not a tyrant. So, what's the book's big picture? It's a roadmap to a life that's rich in every sense. Time wealth gives you freedom, social wealth fills your heart, mental wealth lights your soul, physical wealth keeps you going, and financial wealth supports it all. Sahil wraps it up with a line that sticks: never let the quest for more distract you from the beauty of enough. Picture him now, May 2022, a year after that drink with his friend. He's moved east, closer to his parents, walking with his newborn son, Roman. An old man stops him, says, it goes fast, cherish it. Sahil looks at his sleeping boy, the sun peeking through, and feels it. He's arrived. Not chasing, just living. Where does that leave you? Maybe try the Wealth Score quiz. Rate yourself on these 5 areas, see where you shine or stumble, or host a life dinner, ask what enough means to your crew. Me, I'm starting with a walk tomorrow, phone off, just thinking. Whatever you pick, this book says you don't need a decade, just a year of focus can flip everything. So, what's your first step? Take it and let's build a wealthy life together. Thanks for coming along. I'll catch you next time.